Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
And here we go with another live video stream from the Locker Gnome YouTube channel. Very grateful that you could join us for this momentous occasion. Another series of Apple announcements should be happening today, so long as everything is working on my end. Now here's the thing, and you may know this already, you may not know this, but they are streaming the announcements live. Apple is on their own. I have it streaming in on my iPad, the now old iPad. I don't know what they're going to call the new one. Maybe the new iPad. Any guesses there? So you could watch that concurrently. I have my headphones on because I do not have the right to rebroadcast what Apple is sending out. That is the reason why I do not want to violate their copyright. That is faux show. There's one company you do not want to contend with, and that is Apple. They may sue me for patent violation. I don't know. Think they'd patent my voice? I don't think they would go that far. At least I'd hope they wouldn't go that far. So thank you again for joining us. This will be one of likely 2 videos being uploaded today, the Locker Gnome Daily Report, as well as this would be your Geek Out. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to some of our sponsors, including Go to Assist from Citrix. Of course, that link is always in the video's description, although I don't know if we've got it in this video description while it's live at this point. They do have something special, including for all of you Android users, there's an app available for you. And by the way, everybody, I wanted to let everybody know that, here, baby, come on in. I need your password. I'm using her laptop and needed to install a new version of Flash. I hate Flash. So she doesn't want to appear on camera, and hopefully you understand why. No, I wanted to tell everybody that the documentary is now live on YouTube. T-Mobile published it into their channel. So if you were looking for the documentary that was recorded here a couple weeks ago, it is now on YouTube. I also have to thank Diana for going out and getting coffee this morning. This one has a Band-Aid on it. Doppio Espresso, double, Reg 4. So anyway, that is going to keep me going as we begin rolling through with the series of announcements. I will do my best to not just say what Apple's saying or reporting, but also taking it a step further and giving you my thoughts. And I think that's one of the reasons why you would watch this video, not just when it was being broadcast live, but also after the fact. You'd want to hear my thoughts on the things that Apple happens to be announcing today. It should be a pretty darn big day, if you ask me. And I'm very happy that you would be able to join us. Seems that Tim Cook is taking the stage at this point in time. Thank you, baby. Ooh. Appreciate it. You okay?
I think I moved it.
Oh, it moved? It was a camera movement. I recognize a few of those people in the crowd. None of them are me, or probably you. I doubt if they're there, they'd be watching this live stream. That is the live stream to watch. Oh, and you could also watch it apparently on your Apple TV too. So I don't know if you're watching the 2 streams. You know, one on your smaller screen, one on your bigger screen. Tim said thank you. Tim said thank you. That is official. He has said thank you. You'll have to pardon the silence in between as I take sips and listen to Tim. Ah, they're going to give us some updates, including iPhone. I wonder if we're going to hear anything about iOS Maps. People love it, he says. Indeed, I love my iPhone. I didn't marry it, though. I did marry Diana instead. I'm happy about that decision, too. That's not a slight against you. Uh, 5 million iPhones opening weekend. That's the most they sold in the weekend. No real news there. We knew this. Has anybody ordered an iPhone and not been able to see it at this point, though? I'm curious. Oh, great. They made a video. You know, why do they... I understand why, I guess, but why do they show us these videos? Like, I need to see these videos over and over again. I get it. iPhone's popular. I think we all kind of understand this. Although I'd be shocked if anybody who was watching this live feed was not a fan of iOS devices or Apple in general, in which point I'd ask, why are you watching this feed if you're not a fan? But let's say you're not a fan of iOS and Apple and you're still watching this feed. I will be unboxing my Surface, that is the Microsoft Surface with Windows RT, live on YouTube this Friday. It's on order. I got a tracking number this morning, so it will be here this Friday. So there you go. Like Apple, Microsoft in the same week. We can do this, right? And then Monday, we'll be covering Google's announcements, and I have a feeling if they announce one of those new Nexus phones, I'm going to buy one too. Don't really have much of a choice because they don't send me these products. I have to buy them. Which I'm sure everybody out there appreciates me doing this for them because they can't necessarily do that. I'm throwing myself out there for you. I'm sacrificing. Hey, these things are not cheap. That is for sure. Do you know how many fake mustaches I have to sell in order to... Do you know how many fake mustaches I need to sell in order to get a new gadget? Oh, the things Chris Pirillo does as Apple is showing us a commercial for the iPhone. Because there must be people in the audience who don't yet have iPhones. Okay, you have to pardon just a little sarcasm here this morning. By the way, thank you for all the likes and all the shares, guys. We have 193 likes, 517 of you watching live. We appreciate you joining us, knowing full well that there are a lot of places you could be paying attention to at this moment in time. And I'm sure this will get more exciting as we get into the actual product announcements. Michael Lemley says, I'm live at the Apple event. Well, if you're live at the Apple event, why are you watching this stream? Not a fan of Apple, someone says, but still wanted to watch this. Great, thank you. Jay Sweden says it's very appreciated. Well, I appreciate you appreciating us. The crowd has started to applaud. Indeed, there is applause coming from the crowd. It is official. The long-rumored applause has happened. I'm choked up here. Honestly, I cannot believe that that happened. That was breathtaking. Audi 123000 says, greetings from Holland. Hello. Now they're talking about the Nano. Anybody get a Nano? I did not. I realize they're a big deal for being a small deal, but just not a fan of the Nano. I try not to buy everything that I see. Let's see here. The Verge. Oh, they're quoting The Verge. This year's iPod Touch is the best one ever. It's really a device without competition. So The Verge is getting credit. What about Chris Pirillo saying, holy crap, I'm not going to buy one? Why wouldn't they? Oh, I know why they wouldn't quote me. Never mind. I'll probably get an iPad mini or Air or whatever they're going to call it. Or small iPad. Mini iPad. What do you think it's going to be called? Maxi Pad? It's kind of impressive. They think these iPods are going to make incredible gifts. The Nanos. Yeah. Do you want one? Mm-hmm. You do? An iPod Nano? No, yeah, but what do you use it for? Why would I say because it doesn't... to an iPod Nano. True. Now they're talking about iOS 6. Let's see if they say anything about maps. Jedi701A is playing Minecraft and watching me talk about the Apple announcement. That's impressive. Multitasking. So check this out. 200 million iOS 6 devices this soon. About a month's time or so. Really hasn't been that long since they released it. That is incredible adoption for a new OS. Any new OS. That's incredible. Fastest upgrade rate in history. And that they're aware of, and that certainly I'm aware of too. iOS 6 and Mountain Lion running side by side. In fact, I use that all the time. The notes feature, more than anything, honestly. I take notes and then it's synchronized across all the devices. Then again, I'm a fan of yellow stickies. I had a yellow sticky here. Documents in the cloud, they're saying, although there was a writer on readwrite.com yesterday that was complaining he was having issues with his iCloud account and couldn't get them resolved. I'm still not a fan of documents in the cloud from Apple. I'm a Google Docs fan. Even though Microsoft rolled out a new SkyDrive last night, very impressive. Like visually, I mean, it needs some refinement, but visually, it is pretty. I mean, no doubt about it. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to switch from Google Docs to SkyDrive, but at least we're starting to see Microsoft take it seriously. Now, of course, they're mentioning iMessage here on OS X in conjunction with iOS 6. I haven't had a perfect experience with that. Sometimes I'll get a message from one person and it'll show up on the phone, but not the desktop. And I guess it depends on how they're texting or sending messages back and forth. Apparently, 300 billion iMessages have been sent, half of which are, I think they're about... what's that new reality show? Real Housewives. Yeah. I can't back that up. Game Center. Anybody use Game Center on OS X? I use it on iOS, but only because it's there. I don't play a lot of games on the desktop. But they do brag that they have 160 million Game Center accounts. Now, my question is how are the Game Center accounts on Apple or iOS or their universe, how is that compared to Xbox Live accounts on Microsoft's camps? Shared photo stream, another feature of iOS 6 you may have used before. We use this, although Diana doesn't use it as much as I do. I've got a Diana folder, and when I take a picture of her, it goes in there. And then I got a Wicket and Pixie folder, so I'll put their photos in there. I've got an Instagram folder. 70 million photos shared on PhotoStream. The thing I don't like about PhotoStream is it makes the photos smaller. It actually resizes them for transmission, recompression. On to the App Store. Allegedly today, they're going to be announcing a new version of iTunes. My question is, when's iTunes going to become a management tool for media again? And the App Store on the desktop be the tool to manage your apps on the phone? I mean, I don't touch iTunes. And maybe I'm the only one who doesn't touch iTunes. I have all my apps and everything managed on the iOS devices themselves. 275,000 iPad apps. This is probably to be contrasted against the Windows Store apps, which are going to be, well, Windows Store is going to be launching this weekend, really, on Friday. 35 billion apps have been downloaded. I have about 20 billion on my iPhone alone. I'm a huge addict. I don't care what the platform is. James R624 says, even with 11, iTunes is still a huge mess of features. I agree. See, it makes sense for me to manage all my media in iTunes and then my apps in the App Store, because I manage all my other apps through the App Store. It makes sense, right? Doesn't it? That they would carve out the management on the desktop to those two applications. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. That's just, it's a guess. But I don't use iTunes at all. $6.5 billion paid to developers? Okay, here we go. iBooks. This is it. I think this is a big part of the announcement today. If we see a smaller iPad, which we will likely see, talking about the iBooks app, which I gotta tell you, I don't use all that much. I don't do a lot of e-reading on the iPad or even the phone. I mean, I read a lot of articles, like websites. Oh, by the way, if you are a Simpsons fans, get thee to a Starbucks. This is not a sponsorship. You can get the original Treehouse of Horror for free this week at Starbucks. Unless you're watching this video after this week. In which case, I'm sorry. You should have been watching live. 1.5 million books available. 400 million books downloaded. They got a lot of catching up to do with Amazon. I use Amazon so frequently. Always watching for the new book releases on Amazon. Well, if only because the Kindle is cross-platform, really. So I'm talking Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. Those are the four biggies these days. Today, they're announcing a new version of iBooks. This is it. New reading option, continuous scrolling. That's interesting. That's one long-ass page. I don't know if I like that as much. Like, I like the feeling of just stopping. New version of iBooks, better integrated with iCloud. So it synchronizes where you left off now through the iCloud conduit. You can share, of course, their universal sharing sheets, Facebook and Twitter. Someone's asking, XX Big Gamer Guy XX asking how the Bose Quiet Comfort or whatever they're called. They're great. Love them. Very, very comfortable in my ear. I don't like sticking things in my ear. The Mac is apparently the #1 U.S. notebook. That doesn't surprise me at all. Hang on just a second. I'm apparently just slightly behind. We're going to continue innovating with the Mac. We've got some great stuff to show you this morning. That's what they say. And by the way, iBooks is still a free download in case you were not aware. That's kind of important to know. So if you purchased iBooks, you did it wrong. Sorry to be the one to let you know there. Here we go. Phil takes the stage. Hello, Mr. Schiller. And he says thank you. It is official. He has said thank you. Very cordial. We like this guy a lot. A lot. But when are we going to talk about iOS maps? That's my question. Today is a big day for the Mac. It starts with MacBook. The MacBook. I'm very happy with my Retina display MacBook, although I'm pushing a higher resolution using QuickRes, this free tool that I use. It actually improves the video acceleration on the desktop and gives me a higher resolution on that same screen. It's a third party. It's not a hack. It just allows me to toggle a setting I can't otherwise normally toggle from within the console on the system preferences on OS X. The Verge is getting quoted again, as well as Engadget and Wired. The MacBook with Retina display. I think we're going to see a new MacBook with Retina display. And again, I said this with the first Retina display MacBook Pro. I don't think you need to rush out and get one, honestly. I mean, in the next upgrade cycle, then you might, have no choice. But if you get a MacBook Pro, getting one with a Retina display. It's a good computer, no doubt. It's the fastest Mac that I have, even faster than my Mac Pro, which is a few years old now. So I'm very happy with it. It's my video processing machine. I'm actually streaming live through my Retina display MacBook Pro. Now, according to Apple, their best-selling notebook is the 13-inch MacBook Pro. I bet you we're going to see an update. Here we go. Proud to announce the brand new 13-inch MacBook Pro. Incredibly thin, just 0.75, I'm assuming, inches thick. Wow. It's pretty darn impressive. It's a best-selling notebook. So the question is, will it sell for the same price as it's been selling to this point? Nice little boost. A full 1/5 thinner than the old model, which, by the way, I'm using right now. I'm using an old model here, which is a great model. It's got a case on the outside. It's not a red MacBook. Weighs just 3.5 pounds. Lightest MacBook Pro ever. Pretty impressive. Could be good news if you are in that upgrade cycle, if you're ready to upgrade, if you're holding off on the upgrade. 20% thinner. Thank you, AbdoPC. He also threw that little stat in there. Love this. Mr. VA3 SMC says, I remember 13-inch black and white TVs. You get a high five. I think that's the comment of the day right there. I do too. Yeah, it definitely looks thinner. No doubt about it. Skyward Dragon King. Is a MacBook 13-inch with a Retina display a big surprise? No, it's not. But it's good to see this option out there. The thing that I'm not a fan of, though, with the Retina displays, I got to tell you, I mean, it's a quality piece of hardware, but the video acceleration on the desktop is not as good as it was in previous generations. That's one of the reasons why I bumped up to the native display or the native resolution on the MacBook Pro Retina display that I have, or our MVP. It's better that way. It's the video acceleration with a Retina display MacBook Pro isn't where it could be because unfortunately the video card needs some updates. So we see the same ports as we see in the current Retina display MacBook Pro: HDMI, SD, USB 3, Thunderbolt. Really, no surprises there. This Retina display MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, almost double the pixels of an HD TV. 4 million pixels. Very nice, very nice. Dual mics on there as well, which should help, especially if you are, doing any kind of video conferencing or you're in a loud environment. 75% reduction in glare IPS panel, 29% higher contrast ratio, 300 nits brightness, rich color, deep blacks, and indeed, my Retina the display itself on my MacBook Pro, the Retina display, is fantastic. It's just the responsiveness is not what I would expected it to be. It just needs to wait for a newer chipset from Intel and likely a better video card. And so maybe 2 generations from now, I'll be very happy to recommend a Retina display MacBook Pro outright. Before then, I would recommend using a application, I believe it's called QuickRes, to modify your resolution on your MacBook Pro. If you didn't know that, it's a free tool, by the way. And if you look for QuickRes and you can't find it, I may be getting the name of it wrong, and I will correct myself in this video's description. Hi from Macedonia, the Minecraft Joy. Hello. Can't find the Apple live stream. I tweeted it at twitter.com/Chris Pirillo. Thank you, Mastotobus. 2560 by 1600 resolution. It is cleaner, so long as graphics have been updated. iLife apps. I wonder if we're going to see any software update today on the iLife front, or iWork front especially. They're recommending going to the App Store for Retina apps. They show Pixelmator, although I was going to upgrade Pixelmator, and I've yet to find a good photo editing tool. Pixelmator is like the best one that I can find. Not thrilled with it, but apparently it's buggy on Mountain Lion, so I haven't done it. I haven't done that particular upgrade. FaceTime HD camera on the 13-inch display MacBook Pro. Wicket, you can't, he doesn't even, he can't, his paws kind of, but not, no! He wants one. I think that's one of the first Apple products Wicket's wanted. Usually he's kind of more into the whole, he's using my Nexus 7 tablet right now. Core i5 or i7, asymmetric lithium-ion batteries, standard 8 gigs of RAM, probably not very upgradable. SSD, of course, up to 768 gigs flash. I don't think they're even going to have a hard drive option anymore at some point. Hard drives are kind of going the way of the dodo. Not to call you dodo if you want a hard drive. It's just that SSD, FTW. Again, good when you're ready to upgrade, but trading your current MacBook Pro in for a new one, not really a fan of that philosophy at this point. Unless it's a really, really old one and it's not doing what you need it to do. That's the only caveat I would throw out there. Hey from the UK. Hey, Billy Hodges. They're going through the design right now. Intel HD Graphics 4000. Okay, so it's not a great video card, so I'm wondering how 2D performance is going to be on that platform. Phil's now listing off some of the features of Mountain Lion and iCloud at this point. And assumedly, this comes with Mountain Lion, the new MacBook. Shock. Here we go, $16.99. $16.99 is the price. Well, is that the previous price for a MacBook Pro 13-inch, guys? Can anybody confirm? Abdullah, hey, from Saudi Arabia. If I get a Mac, I am running Windows. Hey, 999 Asian, your prerogative, dude. I use Parallels to run Windows on my Macs all the time. Or you could use Boot Camp, too, if you don't want to pay for Parallels. Start shipping today with a 2.5 gigahertz CPU, sorry. Wow. It ships today. That's pretty impressive. Well, of course, they were shipping the older MacBook Pros, the 15-inch MacBook Pros have already shipped, so I'd imagine they have the supply chain handled. They've got their environmental checklist. Looks like green check marks all the way down. But how does that compare? A 2.5 dual-core i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gig flash memory or your SSD. How does that compare? That's my, and I'd imagine they'd be right in line with the pricing of the previous MacBook Pro the 13-inch. It's pretty cool. They're going to be showing off an ad here, so we'll turn back to questions from the audience. By the way, thanks again for watching, and thank you for the likes and the shares. If you guys can take the link to this live YouTube video, share it with your social networks, it's really appreciated. That's what's going to help us kind of grow, right? Telling your friends that you like this kind of thing. So when you like the video, when you comment, when you share, we appreciate that support. Bring a friend. It was $11.99. Really? Okay, so that's quite a bump. I wonder, really? I'm curious now if the previous gen was about $1,200 and this new one is about, what is it, $1,700? That's quite a jump. Oh, but you can still get the MacBook Pro, the smaller, or the 13-inch, 15-inch, without Retina. If you get a Retina, it's going to be, at this point, a $500 premium. Honestly, and this is after having used it, is it worth the upgrade? I wouldn't say it's worth $500 right now. It really isn't. Maybe in a few years' time, but today, I don't know if it's really worth the upgrade. The reason why I got upgraded is because I needed a video processing machine, and this was the best one that Apple had to offer, and it works really well for what it does. So that's the reason why I upgraded. I'm just saying it's not worth a $500 premium at this point in time. Surprised that they're not doing that with the MacBook Air, though. Maybe they're trying to keep the price point of the MacBook Air low. Which, stands to reason, They want to have a $1,000 Mac. So you can now get a MacBook between $999 and $2,799. Mac Mini update. All right. Gigabit Ethernet, FireWire 800, still on there. HDMI, Thunderbolt, USB 3 now has been updated too. And then SD card, 802.11 Wi-Fi built in, SSD or hard drive storage. Let's see here, a dual or quad Intel processor, i5 or i7, up to 16 gigs of RAM, Bluetooth 4. This is actually really a nice update. And I have been running the live video stream on a Mac Mini for years. I have not updated. I'm still running, gosh, I think I'm still running Lion. If I'm even running Lion on that Mac Mini. Looks like, yep. The 2.5 gigahertz dual-core i5, 4 gig of RAM, 500 gig hard drive, $599. That's been standard. You can get up to 2 1 terabyte hard drives in there, though, for $999. That's the server model. Wow. Dang, dude. New Mini starts shipping today. It's also eco-friendly. I may be bumping up that Mac Mini. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, necessarily, but it's been a few years. I suppose if we're doing more live streaming, it makes sense. The iMac. All right, we've got some iMac announcements for everybody. Those of you who have been waiting to update the #1 desktop model in the U.S. Indeed, I just don't use my iMac as much as I thought I would, I didn't need to use it because I had the Mac Pro. Diana is going to be using this one as soon as we find it. Did you like the desks that one of the subscribers sent us a link to the other day?
Yes.
Still, the world's most energy-efficient desktop, the iMac. I like the iMac for what it is, and, if they don't update the Mac Pro any point in the near future, I may be getting an iMac as a primary machine. I just haven't done it because I've been waiting for these things to get faster and better. I need speed, dude. It's me. I got these dual 30 inches I gotta take care of. And I don't know if I could jump down. That'd be very difficult to lose resolution on a screen. It'd be painful. So the Mac Mini is the world's most energy efficient desktop, not the iMac. Wow. 7 generations of the iMac, each one better than the last. Whoa! Holy! No, dude. Okay, they've got a picture of the new iMac. It is thin. Honey, you have to see this. This is not a Photoshop. This is them. Look at this. Look at this. Look how thin that is. It's almost not even there. Look at that. Whoa! Whoa! Dude, it's a screen. That's it. It is a screen. Where's everything else? Where are the components? Super thin display. No joke. Like, if someone posted that to a website, I would think it was a Photoshop. Like, oh, there's someone's idea of what an iMac could be. And apparently they have one there. Whoa. Hey, from Australia, Fable Technology, how you doing? Whoa. The new iMac indeed is super thin. Ho! Holy cow! There's an entire computer in here. Wow, that's what they said. We have one. Want to see one? Yeah! All right, let me tell you a lot more about it. Awesome. Thank you, Phil. That edge is 5 millimeters thin. 5 mm thin. 80% thinner than previous generation. 80% thinner. Not 8. 80. 80. Wow. That is... Oh, man. That's sexy, dude. That's one sexy machine. The only thing that can make it slightly better is if it was a touchscreen, which we know it won't be. But wouldn't it be awesome to run Windows 8 on that thing? Wow. Dude, it's not even there. Friction stir welding. Oh, wow. So they got it on stage. Dude, it's not even there. All right, give me some specs here, people, because we know it's a good experience. Wow. He's turning it around, and it really is thin. I mean, the edge kind of disappears, and then off the back, you've got, the bulk, the computer underneath. Let me bring up the old generation. Isn't it incredible how something new can make something else look so old? So it's interesting. I mean, they push the display out there and the components back, so they've tapered off the sides, so the edge is thin. The bulk is, behind, so you don't, from an angle, you wouldn't necessarily be able to perceive that there was anything more than a screen. That's really impressive. It's still built on aluminum. 45% thinner display. Wow. So, friction stir welding is when the molecules of the aluminum mix together to create a seamless design. 27-inch, 2560 by 1400, 21.5-inch, 1920 by 1080 IPS for 178-degree viewing angle, 300 nits brightness, fully laminated. Text and graphics look like they're sitting right on top of the glass. Wow. Well, see, my 30 inches are 2650 by 1600. A 27-inch would be smaller than that. That's a little disappointing. But no one's producing 30-inch displays anymore. It's really kind of sad. I love my 30s. I may have to lose my 30s, though. Well, because it's the computer, right? I mean, this is my primary machine. 75% less reflection than the previous version. Which, again, you expect this. It's been a while since the iMac has been refreshed. But you did note they did not say anything about a Retina display. No surprise, because that's a big screen. Individually calibrated. Of course, speakers built in. FaceTime HD camera, dual mics. Stereo sounds better than the previous generation, according to them. But usually when Apple claims something like that, they can back it up. Usually, not always, with Apple. Sometimes you gotta fact check them. Chris, why do I hate Apple? Someone asks. I don't know, but if you hate Apple, you are definitely in the wrong live stream right now. You want to come back for the other live stream that we're doing later this week, which Apple I don't think will even be brought up during that unboxing. Pretty remarkable. A lot of work has been done on the inside, naturally. I'd expect that would happen. I'm having some stream lag. Up to 3 terabytes of storage, Core i5 or i7. 4 USB 3 ports. I stopped buying USB devices, though, a long time ago. I just don't rely on peripherals as much as I used to. SD card slot, very interesting. Gigabit Ethernet. A couple of Thunderbolt ports. Headphone jack, of course. I wonder if that's a Toslink connection. No. Can't really tell. I don't know if these things are going to be shipping today. We will find out. SSD, definitely. Apple Fusion Drive is a new option. I wonder if that's the hybrid model, SSD hard drive. Now they're calling it the Fusion Drive. Oh, by the way, nanometer thickness on the plasma process. Yep, Fusion Drive is a Flash H drive or Flash hard drive combo. Interesting. Fused together with software. 128 gig Flash, terabyte to 3 terabyte hard drive, single volume, faster reads and writes, works automatically. You order it and get a single drive. Now the good news about that is, for those who need the storage but want the speed, you don't have to worry about the trade-off there. That's interesting. I wonder how it compares against a raw SSD. Core applications and OS stay on the SSD. Documents stay on the hard drive. Interesting. Apple has some logic which figure out which apps you use the most and will shift those to the SSD. That's intelligent, dude. So your computer may actually get faster the more you use it. I think that's kind of what they're saying, hun. Aperture photo import. They're showing a couple of bars, flash and hard drive. Obviously, the flash is faster. My question is the Fusion Drive? The Fusion Drive is almost as fast as the SSD. Almost, not quite. I mean, duh. But wow, they've done some tweaking, some major tweaking. If you are a huge photo editor or a video editor, you work with large files, that may be the drive for you, right there. Because that's kind of what I do with my documents. I keep them on a separate drive, and it's just a hard drive. And my primary OS with the applications runs on the SSD. So I have to manage that stuff kind of manually at this point. They've definitely tweaked that thing, though. That's very, very interesting. I wonder how real-world tests will stand up to that. The iMac comes with a wireless keyboard and mouse. Of course, you can get a Magic Trackpad. And for those of you stuck in the past, you can get an optical drive. Ooh! 21.5-inch iMac, 2.7 gigahertz quad-core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, GeForce GT 640M, terabyte hard drive, $12.99. Start shipping next month in November. These may be home computers for families on their wish list. 27-inch iMac, 2.9 gigahertz quad-core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, GeForce GTX 660M, terabyte hard drive, $17.99. Those start shipping in December. Boy, talk about cutting it close for the holiday season for those 27-inch iMacs. Ho! That 21.5-inch iMac is a sweet one at $12.99. That's the basic one, though. That's the base level. You start adding features, and it's going to get more expensive. Uses up to 50% less power when idling. So it can, possibly save you money compared to an older iMac. Wow. That's a pretty new, pretty neat design. I'll be interested in seeing the benchmarks on those, specifically how they compare to previous generations, but certainly no small bump to the iMac line. If this is what you're waiting for to upgrade your iMac, the wait is over. This definitely looks like it's going to be a solid line of iMacs. No announcements on the Mac Pro, though. Really kind of sad. Next, we're going to talk about iPad. Okay, let's see how many they've sold. That's what we're going to hear, right? We've sold 34 trillion iPads. Every person has 17. Making up the math there. Thank you to the 684 people who are watching right now and the 357 likes. Appreciate that engagement, guys. Appreciate all the comments. Bring on the tiny tablet, says Mastatobus. Indeed. The iPad is definitely not a small product. It's a very, I think it's the iPhone is their hottest product right now. Then it's an iPad, if I'm not mistaken. 100 million iPads sold. 100 million. That's a few. And I have one of them. Diane has another. We are part of that number, hun. How does it feel? We are in the 99%. We sold more products, this is according to Apple, in June than any PC manufacturer sold in their entire PC line. It would go, if you count the iPad as a PC, which a lot of people do. My dad uses it as a computer. I mean, it's a computer. It's got software and hardware. It's got an OS. It's a computer. You do things on it. He does more email checking on his iPad than he does his PC. Tablet web traffic share 91%, according to those stats. That I'm still curious about, though. I mean, I don't understand how that could be. I guess there's just not a lot of other people using tablets. I mean, non-iPad tablets. So, the interesting thing about those stats, personal computer units shipped in Q2 12, it's iPad and then everybody else, basically. I'm wondering how that's going to change when Windows 8 finally ships later this week. Why is the iPad so popular, Tim Cook says? Well, it turns out there's a simple reason. People love their iPads. People laugh. Do you love your iPad, hon?
Yeah.
Then why don't you marry it?
I will.
I like my iPad. I'm in like with it. I'm in like with a lot of things. Very rarely do you find me in love with the device. That allows me, I'm poly-device-ish. How do you say I switch between devices? Biocial? More than bio. I'm triocial. Quadocial? I don't know. Chris, what iPad is most worth the money? Well, it just depends on which one you want. They love the display. They love the camera for FaceTime. I do love the camera for FaceTime. That is true. They love they can connect anywhere or go Wi-Fi or cellular. The legendary all-day battery life. They're setting the stage here. And they love the amazing apps optimized for the iPad. They are setting the stage. All those things they mentioned, they're going to come back to, mark my words, if there's a smaller iPad. One of the things that is so rewarding is how quickly iPad has been embraced in education. Indeed. There are school districts now eschewing the Windows PC for iPads. It's true. The iPad has been a real game changer in education. No technology has impacted the way teachers teach and students learn more quickly and more profoundly. With iPad, the possibilities are endless. A superintendent from the McAllen School District in Texas. Indeed. It is a good teaching tool. It really is. And this is one of the reasons why it has been picked up by education and those who are in that sector. I would have used it as a teacher. I would use the iPad, absolutely. I'd had to scrimp and save. I'd had to sell my scissors and other stuff to get one. So they're setting the stage here. Again, they're setting the stage. All these features they're talking about, the education, iBooks, everything, it's culminating to this moment in time. That's foreshadowing. That's what we used to call it back in the day. That makes sense, hon?
Yeah.
Foreshadowing? Okay. Are you reading Reddit right now?
Yes.
She's not paying attention to she's in here with this stream. Oh, 80% U.S. high school core curriculum? Are they suggesting that it's now a part of their curriculum? Indeed. Math, history, environmental science. iBooks, textbooks are now available for 80% of the U.S. high school curriculum. Yeah. You don't need to buy printed books anymore. You can just have them on your iPad. Now, see, that's the thing that it may separate iPads from other tablets too. Is the not just the apps but the books. I mean, if you could only get the books on the iPad, then you'd almost have to go with the iPad. 2,500 classrooms in the U.S. with iBooks textbooks. That's a pretty good start. I don't know how to accommodate that number, if that's large or small. But apparently today they're announcing the latest iBooks author tool with great templates. I don't know if they're great. That's their word, great. With new templates. Let's just say that. We're just going to cut through the marketing hype right there. The iPad wins in the tablet market, but Nexus 7 is working its way up there, says Ms. Tech Box. Yes, that is possible, although I don't know how many Nexus 7s have shipped. I don't know if people view Google as a device company like they view Apple as a device company. I don't know if Nexus 7 is there on their list as much as a Kindle Fire might be. Kindle Fire, I think, is a closer competitor to iPad, if only because Amazon has put it out there in such a way that it's sold very, very well. In fact, I think there's more Kindle Fire owners than there are Nexus 7 owners. I've seen more Kindle Fires in the wild than I've seen Nexus 7s. My preference between the two is a Nexus 7. My preference. But some people live in Amazon's universe. They've got great content, which you can access from a variety of devices, including iOS devices. But it's the fact that Amazon, their whole experience, boils down to that one piece of hardware. Google doesn't have that yet. They're getting that story together with Google Play. It's coming. It's coming. I mean, it's out there. I'm just saying that the day where the Nexus 7 is seen as a viable competitor against the Kindle Fire is coming. Whoa, 94% of the Fortune 500 companies are testing or deploying the iPad? 94%? Now that is big. And that's a big deal. That number is a big deal, especially when we start talking about Windows 8 adoption in the enterprise. I don't know. Microsoft's got a long road to hoe with Windows 8. That's that's tricky. But we know we are just getting started. That's what Tim says. Indeed, they are. Smaller iPad. Smaller iPad. Because let's see a Kindle Fire, a Nexus 7 competitor here. Like in terms of the form factor. Earlier this year, we announced the iPad with a Retina display. Top-selling tablet in the world. Nexus 7 fits perfect in my pocket. Really? Mine doesn't. Hang on just a second. I'm challenging this. Let's see if I can get mine in my pocket. Okay, maybe I have small pockets because it does not fit in my pocket. Or it might, kind of, but then if I sat down, I'd crunch the thing. So you must be a big boy because I'm tiny. I'm very small. My pockets are small. They're average pockets, and I can't pocket it. Phil's coming back up on stage. Just half a year ago, introduced the 3rd generation iPad with Retina display, so it's more incredible that we're sitting here to talk about the 4th generation iPad. 4th gen? Wow, so soon. I wonder if this is really just an incremental update with a lightning port. It's interesting. Why would they be announcing it this late in the year? 4th gen. New chip, though. A6X doubles the performance of CPU tasks. Oh, man. That's disappointing. We may be getting a new iPad, hon.
Yay.
We're going to have so many iPads floating around here. Not that I'm disappointed. It's just performance. I'm a performance guy. So they've doubled the CPU performance in the 4th gen in the same year. Doubles the graphics performance. Competition, they say, doesn't come close. And now we're just blowing past them some more. This is according to them. 10-hour battery life. I think the old one was, an 8-hour battery life? I charged mine last night. I've been streaming the video over Wi-Fi. Updating the camera. The cellular version has expanded LTE. Okay. That's not a small update, dude. Doubling the CPU and the GPU speed, that's an update. That is a solid update, dude. Like, they doubled the speed. Sprint in the US will get the new iPad. Okay, hey, there you go. As well as a handful of other partners, including Deutsche Telekom. Faster Wi-Fi, Lightning connector, yep. Bumped camera specs. Skyward says they're trying to kill Surface, from selling, and I think you're right. That's the reason why they would put this out there today, because the Surface is coming out on Friday at $499 starting point with Windows RT. If Apple updates their line like to a $500 device, that's a big deal, dude. Like right now before the holiday season, same prices though, I'm guessing. Comes in both black and white. They're probably not going to change the pricing of the iPad. They've just bumped up the specs in a big way. And I love my iPad. Okay, there, I said it. I love my iPad. I said I liked it earlier, but I love it. I'm not, because I'm married to you, and that's just weird. Yeah, 16 gig is starting at $499 with Wi-Fi. I've got the 3G model, but I just never have used the 3G or 4G model or whatever. I just never used that antenna. Honestly, I never used it. I very rarely. 16 gig starting at $629. That's Wi-Fi and cellular. There's really no other difference between the two, and I think there may be kind of with the GPS. But if you tether with your phone, which I do very regularly, I think it makes a lot of sense to just go with the Wi-Fi version. So I think this next iPad is going to be just the Wi-Fi only. I want to know if they're going to give me a 128 gig version. That's what I want. I'm an app fiend. A smaller iPad has appeared on the screen. Smaller iPad is here. There's a new smaller iPad. Here we go, everybody. This is what we've been waiting for. Yes, I'm kind of freaking out right now. Big news, big news. There may be yet another iPad coming into this house. We don't know. It is possible. Come on. Let's go. Come on, Phil. Talk. Faster. Okay, this is like turning out to be an extremely expensive month for us, hun. May have to be selling a few other gadgets to make room. This is iPad Mini. It is officially iPad Mini. And it looks like a bastardization of an iPad and an iPhone. Like they stretched the iPhone this way. That's kind of what it looks like. There's less bezel on the sides, and I wonder. All right, so you can palm it. It looks to be right around the size, same aspect ratio as the iPad. Same aspect ratio, or is that the same aspect ratio as the iPad? No, I don't think that's the same aspect ratio as the iPad. I think it's the same aspect ratio, or is it? Sorry guys, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. Seems to be about the same size as a Nexus 7, maybe a little smaller than that. This isn't just a shrunken down iPad, they said. There's nothing as amazing as this. Oh, come on. It's incredibly thin and beautiful, thin and light. Want to see one in person? Yes. iPad Mini. For Mini, it still looks kind of big. So they're holding to the side. It looks, from the way I see it, looks to be a bit shorter than a Nexus 7. So what makes this so incredible, Phil? Come on. Sell me on something I'm going to buy anyway. It's sad. It really is. But come on. I've got a Nexus 7 here. I got my Windows RT device coming later this week. I'm not limiting myself, man. Don't want to limit myself. So you guys can stay tuned for some new iPad and iPad Mini unboxings in the YouTube channel. We'll be doing that live. 0.68 pounds, less than a pound, quarter thinner than the 4th generation iPad, thinner than a pencil, 7.2 millimeters thick. Let's see here. The big question, 53% lighter than the other iPad, the new iPad. Well, I guess this is the newer. This is the new iPad Mini. It's as light as a pad of paper. We're going to say books, but books are heavier, indeed. Black and a white treatment, more like the iPhone 5. So it's got a rear-facing camera, assumedly a front-facing camera as well. We're curious to know about the screen size, resolution, some more specs. Come on. So here's the big question with this one: price. I'm guessing $250 to $300. $250 to $300, man. That's the way to take on the Nexus 7 and the Kindle Fire. Looking to buy this side by side with the iPad 2. Yeah. We get it. It's smaller. And I like the iPad. Or, I'm sorry, I said I love it. I would just love the iPad Mini a little less or more. is less more in this way? I don't know. A 7.9-inch screen, 1024 by 768 resolution. So it is not a Retina display. This first-gen iPad mini, not a Retina display. If that is the resolution. Or wait. Or is it? Hang on. Let me just shut up and wait until they say something before I do. All the software made for the iPad works on the mini with no change. Great for reading email, surfing the web, managing photos. Indeed, it's the iPad, only smaller. 23% thinner. Okay, so is it Retina? You know, I'm hoping that it's not Retina, believe it or not, if only because price. And I think the only way they could effectively get in at that $200 price, which again puts it squarely in line with competition with the Nexus 7, $200, $250, and the Kindle Fire, is by not having a Retina display, because that adds the cost. So all the apps work on it. All the iPad apps that are out there, the 275 million, will work on the new iPad. I'm sorry, the iPad mini. God, so many new names to keep track of. You're going to love Facebook on the new iPad. If you love Facebook. Someone else is guessing 300 to 400, knowing Apple. I don't think it's going to be that high. 329 was the price that was the rumor. It may be that. We don't know. Games, of course, on the mini or the iPad mini should play just as well. It all works, and no one else can say that. It kind of is true. 162 PPI, Chris. Okay, so that's not Retina. Or is it? So I would imagine this if it's not Retina, the price is definitely going to be right around 300. Oh, so now, they're going to compare. Here we have the iPad mini on the right and the new Android tablet on the left. Are they showing the Nexus 7? Let's compare them. It is the Nexus 7. It's made of plastic. Theirs is made of plastic, thicker and heavier. Look at the bezels around the display. And they're showing the display here. It doesn't look... I mean, you can definitely see that there's a difference. The iPad mini is wider than the Nexus 7. Of course, it's got a different aspect ratio. There is a 7-inch... Theirs is a 7-inch... 7-inch display. Apple has, with the iPad mini, a 7.9-inch display. iPad mini has a third larger display area. Doesn't stop there. What's the number one thing people do with their iPads? Surf the web. Indeed. Will iOS 6 work on it? Yes. I'm assuming it comes with iOS 6, dude. 21.9 square inches on the Nexus 7 versus 29.6 square inches. So 35% larger on the iPad mini display. They're comparing the web pages side by side, showing that the Nexus 7, of course, is not... The screen's not as big. So it looks different. I don't know. I think this is a fair comparison, but... You know, to me, web pages display just fine on the Nexus 7. I'm fine with the way pages display. And, you know, comparing, you know, the Nexus 7 to the iPad mini, I don't know if it's a fair comparison, honestly. Especially, they're comparing it, so where are we going to get to price? Because they're saying it's better and better and better, price. The iPad mini, about 50% larger display area in the browser. That is true. So if you want a 7-inch or 7-inch-ish tablet, you would definitely get a bigger screen with the iPad mini. I think that's what they're saying. They're all the third-party apps. That is true. Customers love the ones written for the iPad. I absolutely do. I do. The iPad apps are nice. If they've optimized it for the screen. I prefer to play games on the iPad, actually, because of the large screen. What does the other one have? Phone applications scaled up. Yeah, that's kind of true. It's kind of sad, too. I'm still waiting for really, not native applications, but what's the best way to say it? Applications that were written for this, to take advantage of this screen resolution. I haven't necessarily seen it. I haven't seen one. If you guys know of one, let me know. Because every one that I've tried is just been like a phone app that's been blown up on the Nexus 7. And I know that people have said that, well, it's designed to be that way, and I just don't know if that's a good use of the screen. I mean, it could be done so much better, I think. And maybe we'll see updates with Android to take advantage of that at some point in the near future. Key Lime Pie, maybe? We'll be streaming that discussion live on Monday. I believe that's when it's going to happen, so stay tuned for that. Let's see here. Phil's comparing app versions, Yelp, eBay, Pandora, TripAdvisor. No small apps by any stretch. Pretty bad burns on Android. The platform looks weak on apps as usual for tablets. That could be pretty damning for people who are wondering, well, should I get a Nexus or should I get an iPad? Should I get a Google device or should I get an iPad? Should I get an Amazon or should I get an iPad? So they're answering all these questions. Plus, the iPad mini, A5, so yesterday's processor, LTE versions, FaceTime HD camera, 5-megapixel iSight camera around the back. Okay, so good specs on that. We do not have a camera on the back on the Nexus 7. Of course, we do have the camera up front here. I mean, it's an okay camera, but I just don't use it for filming anything. Maybe for Google Plus Hangouts is when I've used it. So there is an amazing set of technology in the iPad mini. Lightning connector, of course. Big question mark, though, still remains to be the price. How much is this sucker? Maps. Lol, someone laughs at the maps. Yeah, they haven't talked about maps. They kind of shuffled that away. Like, we're not gonna talk about. You know who uses maps? I use maps. I'm the only one on the planet that I swear has not had a problem with the new maps.
I haven't had a problem.
Yeah, Diana has had. We were the only two people on the planet who have not had a problem with the maps. All this technology in such a thin and light device, the team has worked to get the same battery life, 10-hour battery life on the iPad mini. And hey, we even created a video to tell you a lot more about it. I don't care about the video. Just let me Are we, like, video? I get, we're doing a video right here, but why do they need to talk about the video at the unveiling? What do you think it's going to be costing? While we're waiting for what do you guys think, guys? Out there, all 785 of you guys watching, thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for letting people know that we're streaming this live. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the questions. I'm turning back to you. Google just crapped their pants, says Aether777. What do you guys think the price is going to be? Lol at Dane Reynolds. The iPad mini isn't out yet. How can you make statements like that? Well, I don't know what he had said. I missed that, apparently. iOS Maps is fine if you don't use transit directions. Yes and no, because it pushes you off to third-party apps, which work just fine. So it works fine with transit directions. If it's around $300, I'll get it, says Max Van de Wheelie. Van de Wheel? We've got some guesses. $329, $250, $350 for a 16 gigger, $350 plus, $329, $500. I don't think it's going to be $500. If Apple really wants to slap Google and Amazon, they've got to start at $250. They've got to start at $249. They have to. And even with an iPod Touch at $300, you got to remember the iPod Touch is portable. You know, it's a different size. Where's my iPhone? Oh, right here. It's more like this, you know, and there's a price for you pay a premium for this kind of size. So the iPad mini could very well still be cheaper than the iPod Touch. Guys, I want to say it's going to start at 16 gigs and $250. That's my gut. I could be wrong. I could be way wrong. But, you know, that would get a lot of people going, why would I spend $250 on Google when I can spend $250 on Apple and get all those apps, get a good experience, get a larger screen, get a faster this and this, and this. That's why honestly, my guess is right there at $250. Shut up and take my money is what someone said. So shut up and take my money. Although all I have is $1 at this point. I need to line up some giveaway sponsors. That's what I need to do. I'm working on it, guys. I want to try to give away your choice of a tablet every week. A Kindle Fire, a Nexus 7, potentially even an iPad mini. I'm working on it, but that takes money that I don't necessarily have. People want to buy the product. George Chinchilla suggests he believes it's $300 with 16 gig. I don't think it's going to be $347. I don't think it's going to be much over $300 if it hits the $300 price point. I would like to see it at $250, if only because of the economics and the choices that we have in the marketplace. Even with Apple and its ecosystem, they have to hit people, consumers, where it counts, and that's the wallet. And you've got to make that argument so easy. Even if you saw better specs and it looked like an amazing device, there's a big difference, huge difference between a $250 device and a $320 device or a $329 device. A big difference. The question then becomes, would the same consumers still purchase an iPad mini at $250 as if it was also being sold at $329? Would they pay either way? And if they would, and I don't know if Apple probably didn't do its market research, if they would, Apple would be crazy to not sell it for $329. They got shareholders to make happy. It's a multinational corporation, just like Google, just like Microsoft. It's a public company, just like Amazon. They're in the business of making money. It has a new smart cover without the aluminum hinge. Well, how does it work then? New smart cover without the aluminum hinge. How does it snap on? iPad mini has the thinnest single-cell battery we've ever designed. 2 speakers on the bottom, lightning port. Looks to be a bit chunkier than the current iPad. I mean, just a bit chunky. If I were to describe the side view, chunky, a little fatty. That's not a problem. I mean, I'd have to see it in real life, but like, whereas you have a taper design with the iPad, very tapered, it doesn't look to be as tapered on the iPad mini. They had to accommodate the battery, though. The screen looks to be about 2 or 0.2 millimeters thick. Yeah, my question is, how is that smaller bezel going to impact reading? And I also wonder how they've got that smart cover attached if they don't have the aluminum hinge. Funny how they're having this press conference the same day Wall Street is having its worst day so far this year. Someone said on YouTube. Oh. Chris, who's that guy? I've never seen him before. I'm honest. I don't know. Me? Smart covers. Tiny smart covers. This is every inch an iPad. As you see, it comes with a great line of accessories. Smart covers. Interesting smart covers there. Cute little smart covers. Although they don't have the black smart cover. They have a gray, white, pink, lime green, and blue. Just as long as they don't cost as much as the other smart covers, I'm fine. Ah, dang it. Here we go. Starts at $329, 16 gigs of storage. There we go. 16 gigs, $329 is the starting price point. I don't know, dude. I don't know if people are going to see that much of a difference between a $250 tablet over here and a $329 tablet with Apple. And it's certainly worth going with. The iPad mini $329, iPad 2 still $399, iPad with Retina display 16 gigs to 64 gigs, 64 gig iPad mini, Wi-Fi only $529. That's compelling. Now that's a compelling argument, right? Because you can only get a 16 gig with a Nexus 7 at $250, and that's what I have here. Or you can get, if you want, the LTE or the cellular version. Ships November 2nd. Pre-order start this Friday. Oh my God, it's going to be a busy Friday. Wow. Okay. If you want to get your hands on one, you got to wait that long. November 2nd, though, in time for the holiday season. Shipping in a zillion countries. I will be ordering one. Yes, I will. Come on, guys. It's a gadget. What do you expect? The lowest price yet for an iPad, $329. Pretty compelling story. Not as compelling as I think it would have been at $250. But pardon me. What about you? What about you guys? What are you thinking? $329, not bad. 16 gig. You've got all those apps that are already out there. A solid ecosystem. 10-hour battery life. A decent tablet experience. So $250 for this, which is good, or $329 for an iPad mini, which is also good, just more expensive. I think the big difference, and I think the bigger selling point of the iPad mini versus the Nexus 7, beyond price point, is really the cellular option. And some people need that. Some people want that. It's a smaller iPad. That's the bottom. That's what it is. It is a smaller iPad. And if you wanted that, if that's what you were waiting for, you got it. Monique Turns says, too much. Apple clearly are not expecting to increase their customer base. Yeah, That's what you may have said before. But they believe this is the right price. Someone else would rather pay $250 for the Nexus 7. Well, then, maybe that's what you need. I use the Nexus 7 frequently enough, although I just can't find any apps that are optimized for it, I guess. That's the thing that kind of disappoints me. Pardon me. Gosh, I'm really congested right now. I'm getting all choked up. Don't forget, new Nexus 7 this week with double memory, double RAM, better processor, and cellular. Okay, then the question becomes, how will the new Nexus 7 stack up against the new iPad mini? If it's getting cellular, double RAM, double memory, better processor, how's this going to stack up? Because it may be closer to a $329 price point in parity, in line, unless Google's going to fight them on price. Apple's always charged a premium, and despite them charging a premium, people have purchased iPad minis. And I honestly, I know some people say, no, I'd rather get a Nexus 7. I think I'm disappointed it's $329. I think they could have gotten away with $250. They're going to make money. They're not going to lose money.
It would be too cheap. I would feel like...
You would feel like? Wow. Talk about a bubble. Diana wouldn't have purchased one at $250? You think it was too cheap because it's from Apple?
Then I would feel like it's not as good.
Wow. That's quite...
Not knowing anything about technology, seeing all the tablets, I would purchase the more expensive one.
My dad thinks the same way as you do.
Really?
He'd think, that one's cheaper. They're cutting corners. There's got to be a reason it's cheaper. That's more expensive, therefore it's better. Well, Apple may have made the right decision. I think they're going to sell a lot of these iPad minis this holiday season.
Yeah.
Possibly even more than the Kindle Fire HDs. Possibly. Because they're now fighting on ecosystem. They're fighting on everything you can get within Apple's universe versus everything you can get in Google's universe versus everything you can get in Amazon's universe. It's a compelling story. They've been building it up. And the good news is I'll be able to do shootouts. I'll be able to compare this in some respects, like, viewability, usability, speed, etc. I'm not going to rush out and get a new Nexus 7 because I've already got this form factor. I've got the size. And that's I gotta draw the line somewhere. Unless they make it a compelling reason. In which case, damn it, I'm going to get one. We hope you love these. Well, if I have the choice, though, if they announce a new Nexus phone, I will likely get a new Nexus phone because I don't yet have a Nexus phone. And I already have a Nexus tablet this size. So if it's the same size, I probably wouldn't be as interested in upgrading. If only because of price point. It was a no-brainer. The $300 price point was right where you get me. The Chromebook, by the way, is coming soon, too. I don't know what's going to get here, but I will be unboxing that live as well. So they're very happy. They've had an incredible year. I think they're going to have an amazing holiday season with this new series of products. 764 people seem to agree with me. Thank you, by the way. The 523 who are paying attention, thank you for the likes. In fact, I think we had 100 likes before we even started streaming. Those were like sympathy likes. Yes, Chris, we like you. What about the Nexus 8? We do not know. Will it have the new port? Yes, it will. If you're talking about the iPad mini, it will have the Lightning port. They seem to be really close to wrapping up, assumedly. About almost like a 90-minute series, just shy of 90 minutes with this series of announcements. Pretty exciting. Pre-orders start this Friday, same day that my Surface with Windows RT gets here. Yep, this is about it. I think that's all we're going to hear from today. A good series of announcements, new iMacs, Mac Minis, MacBook Pros, iPads, and the iPad mini. Wow. Big series of announcements. Pretty cool week. And I think a lot of people are going to be comparing that $329 iPad to the $499 Surface. That's what they're going to do, honestly. Even the 32 gig iPad mini compared to a Surface with 32 gigs. $429 Wi-Fi only, $559 with cellular compared to a $500 no cellular device from Microsoft with the Surface with Windows RT. So it's I would say it's a pretty compelling argument that would put it square against Microsoft's Volley. They're really, I would say, their first effort. I'm not going to count the tablet PC era because the tablet PC was an interesting experiment, but a colossal failure in the marketplace. iTunes 11, they apparently haven't spent any time about the new version of iTunes, but it may be updated. We just check your software updates and we'll see it pushed out. I wonder if we're going to see an iTunes for Windows come out too. I don't know. I don't know if Apple's going to be developing software for Microsoft for much longer, if they needed to at all. According to Pac Manzi, I think the most impressive announcement, according to him, says it was the new iMac, and that was a big deal. That was a really big deal. Samsung would make the new Nexus, but it would be too expensive, says the 899s on YouTube. Why would you buy a Surface tablet? Windows 8 Metro has no apps. Apps will come, just like iOS. They'll come. I am not a fan of the classic Windows desktop experience on a touchscreen device. It drives me nuts. All I want is Windows RT. Windows RT is the future. Asynchronous I/O, sandboxing is inherent in that particular framework. If you want to know the future of Windows, it isn't in the legacy application. Sorry, guys. It's going to be in Windows RT. There's going to be a huge push with Windows RT. I believe it. So that's why. Plus, it was less money. I needed to save money somewhere. €250 is how what it boils down to. New iTunes not yet available. iMac was very thin. I'm just reading some of the comments that you guys are leaving. And as I wrap up this live video feed again, thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing this video. We've got other live streams coming in over the next week or so. This Friday, my live Surface tablet unboxing, which if you're not watching this live, may have already been unboxed live. Next Monday, the Google series of announcements. I will be ordering, I'm going to say it here, an iPad mini. I don't know which one, but we'll unbox it here on YouTube. Not sure about the other new Apple products, really. Got to look at budget and really where it fits into the grand scheme of things here. Haven't been needing to upgrade my desktop for quite some time. That's a lot of money to sink in, so I'm not sure about going that route. May very well also be updating to the new Lightning connector iPad, and because I'm an iPad guy. What are you making fun of my air quotes?
No.
Oh, didn't know. So anyway, thank you. It's been great having you here, all 752. Thanks again for the likes. Thanks again for the shares. Thanks again for the comments, questions. We'll see you later.